The room went still the moment she extended her hand, steady, confident, and warm. The kind of gesture expected from someone who had just saved a failing corporation. But instead of respect, she received a glare sharp enough to slice through the air. The man in front of her didn't just hesitate. He recoiled, folding his hands behind his back as if touching hers would contaminate him. Executives watched in stunned silence. Cameras flashed. A few stifled whispers broke into uncomfortable coughs. And in that split second, the black woman who had worked her entire life to earn this role felt an old, familiar sting, one society claimed was fading. Yet moments like this proved otherwise. He smirked, muttered something under his breath, and dismissed her existence entirely. What he didn't know, what he couldn't imagine, was that this act of arrogance would cost him everything. His title, his reputation, and the career he believed was untouchable. She said nothing. Her silence carried more power than confrontation. When you underestimate the wrong woman, consequences arrive swiftly, sometimes before sunrise. Ava Morgan wasn't born into the corporate world. She fought her way into it, raised in a working-class neighborhood by a widowed father juggling 2 jobs. She learned early that survival required determination. She excelled academically, earned scholarships, and quickly became known for her innovations. Yet, no matter how high she climbed, stereotypes shadowed her. Success didn't shield her from bias. It only changed the room it lived in. Now, as the newly appointed CEO of Westbridge Tech, she entered a company drowning in scandal and scrambling for direction. Her appointment was historic, the first black woman to lead a tech giant of this size. But her rise unsettled. In certain people, whispers followed. Her doubt hovered, and among those resisting was Mitchell Hart, a senior vice president with a reputation for entitlement and quiet sabotage. This press event was supposed to mark a new era. Cameras lined the walls. Journalists filled the aisles, and executives took their places, except Mitchell, who had spent the morning muttering that she wasn't qualified. Ava ignored. Him leadership wasn't about appeasing insecurity, it was about moving forward. Despite it, but she had no idea that this day would expose hidden prejudice and spark a reckoning that would transform the company. As she approached the stage, she overheard Mitchell whisper venomously, "They hired her for optics, not competence." His voice wasn't soft enough. Several employees froze. Ava kept walking. The years of navigating spaces that doubted her had taught her how to maintain composure even when her chest tightened. But this moment felt different. It wasn't merely disrespect. It was a challenge, a public effort to undermine her authority. Her speech was confident and met with enthusiastic applause. Then came the symbolic line of executive handshakes, one by one, warm smiles, firm grips, genuine support until Mitchell. He looked at her extended hand with disdain. Hands behind his back, a dismissive shake of his head, a smirk, gasps, cameras flashing. The moment captured forever. Ava felt an old ache, but this time she held the power rather than break. She steadied herself and lifted her chin. The audience could see the contrast, her dignity against his arrogance, and that unspoken moment ignited a response bigger than either of them within minutes. Then clips of the incident spread online. Headlines followed instantly. VP refuses to shake new black CEO's hand. Lyricism in tech, viral moment sparks outrage. Westbridge executive under fire. Employees forwarded screenshots. Investors demanded explanations. The board called an emergency meeting. Mitchell's inbox, filled with backlash. Ava stayed silent. Silence was strategy by sunrise. Mitchell's world collapsed. The story dominated national headlines. Tech partners issued statements condemning discrimination. Employees launched petitions for his removal. At 7:45, the board convened without him. Ava entered the boardroom composed. She outlined her strategy, addressed the backlash with professionalism, and never said Mitchell's name. His actions were already loud enough. The board chair presented a folder, HR reports, internal complaints, testimonies of disrespect. The pattern was unmistakable. Mitchell burst in late, insisting everything was exaggerated, but the board didn't budge. The system that once protected him no longer did at 8:03. He was officially terminated news. of his firing spread through the company like a release. Employees felt seen. Confidence returned. The atmosphere shifted toward integrity over favoritism. Ava didn't celebrate. Instead, she built. She introduced new policies, transparency, leadership programs, and genuine accountability. Her goal wasn't revenge. It was transformation, but she also knew the truth. The moment on stage was not an isolated incident. It was a reflection of silent prejudice masked as professionalism. A handshake refused had revealed a problem much deeper than one man. Her story resonated because millions recognized the same quiet wounds they'd experienced. Bias wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was a subtle refusal of acknowledgement. In the end, the moment meant to belittle her became the one that amplified her strength. She walked into her next press conference with unshakable poise, determined to ensure no one under her leadership experienced what she faced that day. The question lingered far beyond her company. How many more careers, voices, and futures must be challenged before respect becomes the norm rather than the exception? Where are you watching this story from? Take care.